dichotomy and experience-wise here today. Gasco making career start in the NCAA tournament number 15, and the first, obviously, for the freshman Sammy Frazier. Frazier's been fantastic this year for the Ravens, is 10-2 with a 0.74 ERA, which is tops in the entire conference. Making her 10th start, 75 2/3 innings, has allowed 47 hits, has given up just 8 earned runs the entire year, walked just 17 hitters with fantastic control, and has struck out 61, with the opponents hitting just 177 against her. Frazier, the freshman from Greenfield, Indiana, and graduated from Greenfield High School. Not only was she the pitcher of the year this year in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, she was a first-team all-conference member and the freshman of the year as well. And she's a great hitter, led the entire state in Indiana in home runs her senior year in high school. 2 right-handers hook up in game number 1, the veteran and the righty, the pitcher of the year in the MIAA Conference, Gasco for the Thunder, the pitcher of the year and the freshman in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference for the Ravens, and Sammy Frazier. Beautiful, bright, sunny skies. Temperatures ranging out about 75 degrees. We'll take a break and be back to take a look of the Game 1 starting lineups right after this. This is Trine Thunder Softball on 88X.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face-to-face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
Thunder Athletics on 88X are made possible thanks to a donation from Tasty Pizza of Angola. Located on 200 North, Tasty Pizza offers specialty pizzas, oven-baked subs, calzones, and more for pickup or delivery. Phone 260-833-8500 or visit tastypizzaangola.com. Tasty Pizza is proud to be a Thunder Varsity Club member and supports Trine University Athletics on 88X.
Hi, this is Rob Reinhart, your host for Acoustic Cafe. Next time on the show, new music from Junip, also Frank Turner, plus Billy Bragg and Paula Cole, both then and now. And joining us in the studio, a true rock legend who is back with new rock music, Rod Stewart. All of that and more next time on Acoustic Cafe.
Listen for Acoustic Cafe every Sunday morning starting at 9 right here on Trine University Radio and 88xradio.com.
Aaron Coyle back with you live from Trine University, getting ready for game number 1 here this morning between the second ranked in the entire nation and the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament region, the Trine Thunder, against the Anderson Ravens. A couple of Indiana teams hooking up in game 1, and the Thunder 7 wins and 2 losses against Anderson since 2008. Starting a lineup here this afternoon, or this morning rather, first for the visiting Ravens, leading things off and playing center field is Katie Lee. Batting second, the conference player of the year and the second baseman is Amy Wiestefeld. Katie Ogden bats third and plays third base. The cleanup hitter is first baseman Yardley Collette. Megan Ream plays left and bats fifth. The sixth hitter is right fielder Lise Hess. Natalie Morehouse, the converted catcher, bats seventh, and she'll be behind the plate. The eighth hitter is shortstop Nicole Frazier. Batting ninth, designated player is Samantha Steele. And Sammy Frazier in the circle here this morning for the Ravens. Again for Anderson, it's Lee in center field with Wiestefeld at second base, Ogden at third. Collette at first base with Riemann left and Hessen right. In the bottom third again for the Ravens has Morehouse catching, Frazier at shortstop, Steele the DP, and Frazier in the circle. For the Thunder, Carly Searles leads things off and plays center field. Batting second, left fielder Caitlin Clark. Amy Newell, the University of Toledo transfer, bats third, and she's a designated player. The cleanup hitter is Trine pitcher Andy Gasco. Lauren Harris bats fifth and plays first base. The sixth hitter is right fielder Leah Hall. Sarah Belote, the conference player of the year, bats seventh, and she'll catch. The eighth hitter is first-team all-conference member and third baseman Rachel Harris. Batting ninth at shortstop is Haley Daniels. Jamie Leidick will do the fielding at second base this morning, and she's a flex player. Again for Trine, it's Searles in center field with Clark in left, Newell the DP. Gasco in the circle with Lauren Harris at first, Hall and right. And the bottom third again for the Thunder Blue as Belote catching, Rachel Harris at third, Daniels at shortstop, and Leidick at second base. Trine making their sixth consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament. Last year they came an eyelash away. They just needed one win against Ohio Northern in 2 attempts to advance to the NCAA championships. Did not quite get the job done a year ago, but certainly that is their focus here, and it begins this morning against 8th-seeded Anderson. The winner of this game faces the winner of the next game, which is Aurora University, the Spartans out of Illinois, against Mount Union, the Raiders, the number 4 and 5 seeds respectively in this conference. Then the 2 o'clock matchup is John Carroll out of Ohio, one of 3 Ohio Athletic Conference members, and Allegheny at 2 o'clock. Then Thomas More, the team the Thunder faced a couple years ago down in the region at DePaul University. They face Capital, the Crusaders from Ohio. That's the 4 o'clock game. It's a double elimination tournament. The winner of this game will go on and play tomorrow at 2 o'clock against the winner of that previous mentioned game. The loser has to come back right tomorrow and play at 10 a.m. against the loser of the Mount Union Aurora game. Mentioned it before, it's going to be interesting to see how the Anderson hitters react to Andy Gasco today. Gasco has obviously been the most successful pitcher in the history of Trine University. She has dominated basically every foe she has ever faced, but for some reason, the Anderson Ravens have always hit her well. She is 2-1, but a 6.05 ERA against Anderson. This is an Anderson team who has 7 first-team all-conference players in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. So definitely a formidable foe here this morning for the Thunder as the starting lineups are being introduced. Anderson with their road whites with black stripe down the side of the pants. Some black on their shirts with the orange numbers outlined in black. The Trine Thunder with their white pants, the navy blue tops with the white numbers outlined in Vegas gold. Trine all-time in the NCAA tournament, 8 wins and 10 losses. They are just 1-4 in the first round of the NCAA tournament, with that lone win coming last year at the hands of the Golden Tornadoes of Geneva up in Alma, Michigan, defeating them 6-5. But in 2011, in the first round, the Thunder lost 3-0 to those pesky Ohio Northern Polar Bears, and the Thunder were held down that day to just 1 base hit. In 2010, an 8-6 loss for the Thunder against North Central, and in 2009, a 1-0 loss against Defiance. Also had a loss against Washington University in their first ever conference game. They played in Rock Island, Illinois in the NCAA tournament, 1-0 as well. But the Thunder 3-2 last year after they won their first 3 games and then dropped the last 2 against Ohio Northern. Trine the top hitting team in the entire league, and they lead the entire nation in scoring. This is a team predicated upon power. They're first in the nation, averaging 10.5 runs per game. They're first in the nation in home runs with almost an unfathomable 73 home runs this year for the Thunder. And they're first in the nation as a collective slugging percentage at .699. Trine no slouch in the circle either. They're 7th in the nation ERA at 1.38. For Anderson, they lead their league in hitting at .330. They also lead their conference in ERA at .305 and in fielding percentage at .956. It's Trine the 1 seed against the number 8 seed Anderson Ravens. So we'll pause now for the playing of our national anthem.
And those who support our freedom, both at home and abroad, for the playing of our national anthem.
Eric Coyle back with you live from Trine University, getting set for the first round of the NCAA tournament here this morning. Trine has outscored their opponents this year 400-68. They came here with an MIAA tournament win last week, defeating Hope in the first game in thrilling fashion, and a seventh-inning home run by Lauren Harris. Trine came back to defeat Alma in game number 2. It was lifted on a 2-run blast by Sarah Belote in the 6th inning. Then they had that final victory holding on in a high-scoring affair against the Adrian Bulldogs to cap it off. For the Ravens, they've won 3 consecutive HCAC tournaments, 3 titles in a row, and they're making their 6th ever trip to the NCAA tournament. And this year, this team, although seeded 8th, are 4-5 against teams in the NCAA tournament. So it definitely will be a challenge here this morning for the Thunder. Trying yet to take the field. Anderson getting ready to crank things up from the right side, sitting in the visiting dugout here this morning. Trying, of course, in their home dugout positioned on the third base line. The press box above that. Fans flanked out on either side. Also some folding chairs across the grass. And certainly our appreciation for the grounds crew. They have done a fantastic job making this facility look incredibly immaculate as they begin action here this morning. Trine takes the field. Andy Gasco taking the ball for the 15th time in a starting role in the NCAA tournament. Gasco, you think about it, came in as a freshman, garnered the Thunder their first ever victory in the NCAA tournament, and it came against Thomas More, who is in this tournament this year as a number 7 seed. Trine's first 2 trips to the NCAA tournament, they were 2-out, did not win a game. Started out in Rock Island, Illinois, near the Iowa area, went 0-2. Then the next year, they were actually eliminated on the first day. They had an early game against Defiance at DePaul University. They had to come back later that afternoon in kind of an anomaly on the schedule that day, and they faced Ohio Northern and were eliminated on the same day. But the next year, they slowly began to piece things together. Had 2 victories against Thomas More and then Transylvania. Had 3 victories at Adrian College as 2011. Then last year had 3 more wins in succession at Alma, Michigan. Gasco ready to start things off. In case you didn't hear again, she was named the Pitcher of the Year in the MIAA Conference with almost mind-boggling numbers. In conference play this year, Gasco is 9-0 with a 0.15 ERA. In conference games, she gave up 1 earned run in 45 2/3 innings. Ready to start the early game for the 2nd consecutive year for the Trine Thunder. All the teammates encircling Andy Gasco. They break off into their respective positions. And Anderson starts off with the lefty is Katie Lee. Lee, one of those 7 players named to the first-team all-conference title this year for the Ravens, hitting .263 overall with 10 RBIs, 5 doubles. Has 24 career doubles. And last year as a sophomore hit a team-high .443. Trine employing the slap shift against a left-handed hitter as Gasco sights aside from the Bronson, Michigan native Sarah Belote. Blinds bring the pitch. Swing and a line drive into center field, a base hit. And this 2013 NCAA tournament is underway. Anderson doesn't waste any time at all as Katie Lee shoved it right back up the middle. Trine's defense here this morning has Rachel Harris at third with Daniels at short, Leidick at second base, Lauren Harris at first, with Sarah Belote catching. The outer defense has Clark in left with Searles in center field, and Leah Hall in right. Leadoff base hit for Katie Lee as the base umpire addressing something with Andy Gasco, of which I have no idea what the origination of it is. And another lefty, Amy Wiestefeld, who's the Conference Player of the Year from the left side of the batter's box. Hit .482, which is 28th in the nation. Squares to bunt, takes it down and away a ball. No score, top half of the first inning. 2013 NCAA tournament. Wiestefeld, 20 RBIs, 4th on the team, with the corners crawling in. She bunts it straight into the air, foul behind home plate. It crashes against the screen. It's chased down by Sarah Belote, and it squares the count at 1-1. Leadoff knock by the center fielder, Katie Lee, stands at first base. Both Harris sisters inching in from their respective positions. The 1-1 pitch is bunted right back to Gasco. She collects and throws to the covering Leidick at first base for the out as the runner advances to second base. Sacrifice bunt for Amy Wiestefeld, and it brings up the third baseman, Katie Ogden. 1-4 on the sacrifice officially as Leidick made the put out. And now Ogden, another first-team All-Conference player for the Ravens, was second-team All-Conference 2 years ago. And the umpires have made some sort of a clarification. I'm not exactly sure what it is because they are directing Wiestefeld to come right back into the box, and I assume they have called an illegal pitch against Gasco. So it is an illegal pitch against Andy Gasco. It sends Katie Lee to second base, and Wiestefeld is still hitting. 2-1 the count. The pitch is down and away, ball 3. On an illegal pitch, if a player is on base, she is awarded an extra base, and the player batted is awarded a ball. So goes to 3 balls and a strike against the MVP, Wiestefeld, the runner at second base. She delivers it down and away, a ball, and the first 2 Ravens have reached. And the issue for Andy Gasco is to shake it off. Katie Lee at second base, Wiestefeld at first. Now it's Katie Ogden to the plate. 322 hitter with 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 5 doubles. From the right side of the box, squares the bunt, takes it just inside a ball. We have mentioned the propensity of the Anderson Ravens to hit Gasco. They have runners at first and second with nobody out in the first inning. Ogden from the right side of the box, so the corner's creeping in. The pitch is bunted, third base side, fielded by Harris. Tosses over to the covering Leidick at first base for the out. And the 2 runners move up. Katie Lee to third base, and Wiestefeld to second. 5-4 sacrifice for Katie Ogden. Now it's the cleanup hitter and the very talented, powerful first baseman, Yardley Collette. Collette just a sophomore, but a 381 hitter with 4 home runs and a team-high 32 RBIs, and she's tied for 4th in the HCAC in both categories. Gasco with the pitch. It's down and in a ball. Top of the first, no score. Ravens threatening with runners at second and third and 1 out. And they have just called another illegal pitch against Andy Gasco, and that brings in a run. Don Dankelson is all out of sorts as he comes out of the dugout to address things with the umpire. They have called the illegal pitch. The run advances in from third to score, and Wiestefeld moves to third, and the Thunder trail this game right out of the box, 1-0. Gasco, the senior and the veteran, has to collect herself now, facing the dangerous Collette, who's definitely a threat to hit it out of the park. 1-0 pitch is in for a called strike. And it's tough for these pitchers. During the regular season, they don't normally call the illegal pitch, but there is such an emphasis on the details in the NCAA tournament. It can really change the entire game. Gasco sights the sign. The 1-1 pitch to Collette is popped up down the right field line, bending foul. Leah Hall giving chase and cannot make a sliding catch as the count drops to a ball, 2 strikes. 1-0 Ravens, and they have scored on an illegal pitch here in the first inning. Wiestefeld, the MVP and also the point guard of the basketball team, stands at third base with Yardley Collette at the plate. 1-2 the count. Gasco exhales, sights the sign from Sarah Below, brings the 1-2 pitch. It's sprayed foul right side, and it carries out of play. Collette, 6'1", big tall player, first baseman from Middletown, Indiana. Graduated from Shenandoah High School. First team All-Conference each of the last 2 years for the Ravens. 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball, base hit into left field past the diving Rachel Harris, and the Ravens have taken a 2-0 advantage. RBI for Yardley Collette, her league-leading 33rd of the year.
Now batting, the Anderson left fielder, Megan Reed.
Here's Megan Ream, the left fielder, and yet another one of this long list of first-team All-Conference players for the Ravens. The 369 hitter, which is 10th in the entire league, with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 8 doubles. Don Dankelson has come to address the base umpire as his team has been in a difficult situation here in the first inning after 2 illegal pitches have been called against Gasco. And then an RBI base hit by Yardley Collette, the 2-time all-conference player. Trine trails at 2-0 in the top half of the first, and there's still just 1 out. Megan Ream waits on the right side of the box, rolls it foul down the first base line. She's down a strike. Ream, an all-conference volleyball and basketball player in high school as well. From Lima, Ohio. Graduated from Shawnee High School. Runner at first, 1 gone first inning. The Ravens have already pounced out, scoring 2 runs. Pitch is at the letters for a called strike. She drops down to the count at 0-2. If you're scouting this game out, if you're an opposing coach, the first thing you do is make a beeline to your pitcher and tell her to be careful because they're calling things very closely. The 0-2 pitch is popped up. Shallow right field, backing onto the grass, is lighted to make the catch for the out. Two away in the first inning, and here's the right fielder and the graduate student for Anderson, Lise Hess.
The Raven right fielder, number 20, Lise Hess.
Hess, a first-team all-conference player in 2011, also a second-team all-conference player in 2009, but had a torn ACL last year, had to miss the entire campaign. Check swing, ground ball to Harris at first. She gets, steps on the bag for the out, and that ends the first inning. But Anderson scores twice. They have a base hit. We head to the bottom of the first. It's the Ravens 2, and the Thunder coming to bat. This is Trine Thunder Softball on 88X.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
Aaron Coyle back with you live from Trine University. It's the 2013 NCAA tournament, and the Ravens have bounced out with 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. As Trine counters with Searles Clark and Amy Newell facing off to the HCAC Pitcher of the Year and the freshman Sammy Frazier. Frazier obviously has never pitched in the postseason except for the HCAC tournament where she pitched very well. The freshman, 5'10", from Greenfield, Indiana, was named to the all-tournament team of the HCAC. It's also the Pitcher of the Year, the MVP, and the Freshman of the Year in the HCAC Conference. Ravens scored twice, one on an illegal pitch in the top half of the first inning, then on an RBI base hit past the diving third baseman Rachel Harris by the first baseman for the Ravens, Yardley Collette. The winner of this game plays tomorrow at 2 o'clock. The loser has to come right back, bright and early, folks, to play the 10 a.m. game. Can't ask for better weather than we have right now with temperatures around 75 degrees, sunny skies, a bit hazy. But later in the day, there is a threat for rain, and we are hoping beyond hope that it all holds off. Try and get things started with a first-team all-conference player, Carly Searles, who has a batting title this year in the MIAA Conference and hit .633. 468 hitter overall, which is 40th in the entire nation. And you can imagine the butterflies for the freshman Sammy Frazier. She's about ready to unleash her first NCAA pitch. Here it comes to the waiting Searles, and it's in there for a called strike. Ravens playing in across the corners, playing rather deep in the outfield against Searles, which is a nice decision because she's one of the top hitters in the entire nation, has a .774 slugging percentage. The multifaceted and talented and 2-sport star for Trine University. Stands in the lower back half of the batter's box. The 0-1 pitch is a changeup, settles up high for a ball to round the count out at 1-1. 2-0 Ravens, home half of the first inning. The Thunder, the top team in the entire nation, is scoring. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss as she chased a bad ball up and in. Searles 2 for her last 11. 3 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 9 doubles, and second in the entire nation in triples. 1-2 pitch, tried to entice her again to swing at that high pitch. It's up and in for a ball. It's around the count out at 2-2. 2-0 Anderson, first inning. Searles, the lefty, hangs in the box. Frazier pumps in the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside edge. And Searles is a strikeout victim. Frazier's been fantastic this year. 0.74 ERA entering action, 10-2 the overall mark. With Caitlin Clark at the plate, Frazier's first pitch peppers the outside edge, a called strike. Defense for the Ravens has Ogden at third with Nicole Frazier at shortstop. She's no relation to the pitcher Sammy Frazier. Weistefeld at second base, Colette at first, and Morehouse the catcher. Pitch to Clark, she sprays it foul behind the plate. He carries out a play, and the count drops to 0-2. Megan Ream is in left field with Katie Lee in center, and Lise Hess standing in right for the Ravens. 2-0 Anderson, first inning with one down. Clark may be the hottest hitter on this team with a 9-game hitting streak. Way outside of ball. Is hitting .531 over that span and has 16 RBIs in her last 9 games. Clark, .363 overall hitter. Nod to the head by Frazier. The 1-2 pitch is up and away, ball 2. Anderson does have pitching depth, which will benefit them nicely in this tournament. They have Lauren Smith, who's pitched several years, and also Devin Mormon, who has been the number 2 pitcher for basically every year of her career. Clark fouls it off. The count remains at 2-2. Trine, of course, has plenty of pitching depth with Bree Fuller, who enters action with a 22-2 career record, and also Justine Robles as well, a freshman. Frazier sights the sign, the infield playing back, brings a 2-2 to Clark, swinging a line drive, center field base hit, and she extends her hitting streak to 10 games. Caitlin Clark continues to hit, the Tennessee native, and she sets the table for Division I transfer Amy Newell. Newell, first team or second team all-conference player this year, .373 with 8 home runs, 42 RBIs. Frazier grabs the sign, brings the pitch. It's up and away for a ball. Bottom of 1, 2-0 Ravens. They scored on an illegal pitch and then an RBI base hit by Colette. Frazier's 1-0 to the waiting Newell is outside for ball 2. Trine can certainly erupt at any point, averaging over 10 runs per game. 2-0 pitch to the waiting Newell is shot foul right behind the plate. Fences are basically 210 feet here at Trine University. It's kind of a funky alignment, about a 6-foot fence. It's actually 212 to left field, 211 to center field, and 210 out to right. 2-1 pitch to Newell, swinging a pop-up foul right side as Colette digs toward the dugout and runs out of the room. Amy Newell, the sophomore from Three Rivers, Michigan, was a 4-year varsity softball and basketball player there. And she will eventually play basketball for Steve Mix right here at Trine University. Unfortunately, an injury curtailed this year for Newell. 2-0 Ravens first inning. The 2-2 pitch to the waiting Newell is a line to the second baseman, caught, and a quick throw to first base, safe. Amy Weistefeld, the conference MVP, made a belt-high catch and shuffled it on to first base for the out. Clark remains at first, and here's the ultra-dangerous Andy Gasco. Gasco leads the entire nation in home runs and is second in the nation in RBIs. And Anderson has made a trip to the pitching circle to address the freshman Frazier. And anytime you have Andy Gasco at home plate representing the tying run, it is definitely worth a trip to the circle to go over strategy. The issue you have with Andy Gasco, normally it would be elementary. You don't pitch to her, you don't let her beat you, but then you look at this Trine Thunder lineup, and every player can beat you. The 7th hitter in this lineup is the Conference Player of the Year in Sarah Belote. So there's really no way to pitch around Andy Gasco without facing somebody else almost equally as dangerous. Thunder first, 2 down first inning. The Thunder trail at 2-0. Pitch by Frazier, sprayed foul right behind home plate on a foul ball, and she's down a strike. Casco, 446 hitter, 18 home runs, 60 RBIs, and 12 doubles. The all-time conference, or the all-time school leader in home runs and RBIs. The 0-1 pitch to Gasco settles up high ball to square things at 1-1. Two 2-0 Ravens. Home half of the first inning, runner at first base, 2 down. The 1-1 pitch, a hard line drive, foul straight back, and Gasco just missed it. Count drops to a ball, 2 strikes. Andy, ultra competitive, paces out of the batter's box, glances at head coach Don Dankelson, and climbs right back in. Freshman against senior. The freshman comes with a pitch, and it hits Gasco. Looked like it hit her on the batting helmet, or at least near the upper part of the body, as she takes a base. Gasco reaches, hit by a pitch as Clark advances down to second base, and here's first baseman Lauren Harris. Harris, second-team All-Conference player twice in her career. 377 hitter with 8 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 10 doubles. Trine threatening. The top scoring team in the entire nation, but they're trailing at 2-0. Frazier grabs the sign, brings the pitch. It's just up high ball. Have to wait upon the home plate umpire as the old delayed strike, so it might take a couple seconds to figure out if he's going to throw up the right arm or not. The 1-0 pitch comes, swing and a miss to the waiting Harris. It's a ball and a strike. Lauren's second all-time in career RBIs and third all-time in career home runs in Trine University history. First and second, 2 down, first inning. 1-1 pitch is popped up. Foul ground to right side, catcher giving chase, and it's out of play. As it hits on top of the back screen, as Natalie Morehouse discarded her mask and made a beeline toward the fence right side. And Morehouse is a great story. She had never caught before in her entire life, folks. I'm talking about high school as well. All of a sudden, Anderson this year realized they didn't have a catcher on the team. And Natalie Morehouse volunteered to catch, and she's doing it for the first time. Ball outside, it's 2-2. Had been a pitcher and position player her entire career, and this year she said, Coach, I'll put on the equipment. She has, and it has certainly worked out. 2-0 Ravens first inning with first and second, 2 down. 2-2 to Harris is up high for a ball, and Harris again draws a full count. Fantastic patient eye by Lauren Harris. Has 16 walks, which is 6th in the entire league. Big pitch coming. On the 3-2 pitch by the freshman. Swing, line drive, left field, backing and making a catch near the warning track is Megan Ream, and that's the inning. Trine gets a hit, they strand 2. After 1 complete from Angola, it's Anderson 2 and the Thunder nothing. This is Trine Thunder Softball on 88X.
Need apparel for your favorite Trine sports team? Visit T-Gear and cover everyone in your family, from grandma to the kids, in authentic Thunder wear. T-Gear is your source for Trine University apparel, including sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, t-shirts, and more. Check out T-Gear online at trine.edu/T-Gear or visit them at their storefront location at 705 West Maumee Street in Angola. Phone 260-243-4415. T-Gear, your source for Thunder apparel.